What's going on, guys? Today we're looking at the M41 Walker Bulldog, Tier 7 American light tank, and I gotta say, this is one of the few light tanks in the game that I actually like. I have 3 games coming up. One of them, first one is Radley Walters, and yeah, I still kills, but it's a light tank. I don't care. Second game, I'm not entirely sure. One of the games, I don't do a whole lot. And one of the games, 3 of them, is me just messing up a bunch of tier 6s, and one of the reasons why I believe that this tank is kind of overpowered at the tier that it is at, but not in a bad way. It's a good thing. It's a good thing that it's overpowered at tier 7, and I'll show you why in the replays. Anyways, we're gonna get right into this. It leads to the T49, which goes to, let's get over to it real quick. It goes to the T49. You go from the Chaffee to the M41 to the T49, and it ends up at the T57 Heavy. I am 23,000 away from that. It has an option for these top 2 guns. They do the exact same pin and damage, but this one is a autoloader, 10-round clip with a 30-second reload and a long game time. It works actually. Now, this is the gun that you need to be using unless you are dying to use the autoloader. Shoots 17 rounds a minute, 175 pin, 210, and 38. Now, the premium rounds heat, and the default round is APCRs. Aim time is really good at 1.89, and the accuracy is 0.37. View range of 400. This tank is fast to 72 kilometers an hour, and every now and then you get some weird bounces off of the turret, but it rarely happens. It's kind of big if you compare it to like a Patton or something. Hold up. That's a little bit. Patton's huge anyways. I mean, it's big for a light tank, if you know what I'm saying. What else is there? Oh, C's tier 10, obviously. I recommend, equipment-wise, I don't have them on there, but vents, coated optics, and meh. It doesn't come with a rammer, so probably vertical stabilizer. Sorry that I'm yawning. I was not tired until I started recording. It was stupid. Alright, so yeah, now let's get into the actual games. Alright, so here's the first game of 3 of me playing the M41 Walker Bulldog, and reasons why you should get it, and why I think this tank is partially overpowered, but in a very good way and not a very bad way. First game's on Sand River on the Xbox One, the next 2 are on the 360. Now, one, if not all, involve me stealing kills, but I really don't care, because this is a light tank, and assisted damage works, but you need to get some kills in these things, because it makes you look good. Now, use that knowledge to all the tanks in this game, and we'd have some pretty good players. Other than, hey, look, I'm in a tier 5 light tank in the tier 8 game. Best thing I can do is completely troll up the middle of the map and do absolutely nothing to help my team. Because that happens, I swear, all the time. So, this tank, what I'm saying, it being overpowered, is that this tank is very competitive against tier 8 medium tanks, and it's very competitive in tier 9 and 10 games, but not in the same, like, it's kind of like balanced out in tier 9 and 10 games, but in tier 8 games where you're pretty much a top tier tank, this tank shines how good it is. As you can see by what just happened, the suspension is very good on it too. Now, this tank has a 3 something, really, wait till I shoot, 3.21 I believe, 3.21 reload, and this guy, I know I didn't detect him, but it's no deal, and I've done shot a few times, and Chinese light tanks, in my opinion. Like, and it's better than T-71, in my opinion. But the T-71 does its own thing better than this thing can do. The autoloader, because the T-71 loads faster, but it does not have the same gun depression. This thing has an insane amount of gun depression. I'm not sure how much, but I think it's like 10 or so. Now you lose gun depression when you use the 10 round autoloader though, and I forgot to mention that earlier when I was much. So this tank, everything on it fits, like it works perfectly. The top gun on it, 7.14 rounds, 17 rounds a minute, not anything on it. And I mean, it's like playing a medium tank with no armor. You don't do a lot of damage a shot, but you shoot so fast it doesn't matter. So if you're going to get the T-57 heavy, strongly recommend going down this side of the line instead of the T-71, 69. But if you really want to play nothing but autoloaders until you get to the tier 10, be my guess, go get the T-71. It's a good tank, but T-69, he's kind of one of the lower end of the turret poles for tier 8 medium tanks. Now, I'm not saying that's terrible, I liked it, but it's a hot tank, really. Now I'm sitting here, I think I'm shooting heat down, I didn't mean to hit the button, but I'm keeping all these guys protected as far as I know. And they not doing anything. No, I'm not even protect the other guy has to be. No good. Didn't go through. Another thing is that before, well, this tank in particular, if you already own the T-57 heavy, light tanks in this game, except this one, the AMX 1390 and the RU-251 and the, well, most of the tier 8 light tanks, except for the T-49. It's like light tanks as a whole really have no reason to be played, because in a tier 10 game, most of the time, not all the time, most of the time, any tier 10 medium tank on any given circumstance, a tier 10 medium tank will do a tier 8 light tank's job better most of the time. Now, in some games where there's nothing but freaking tier 10 tank destroyers, you'll still have tank destroyers doing the jobs better than the light tanks can, because the light tanks don't want to move up to get hit by tier 10 155mm guns. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who knows what's going on in war tanks is that most of the players who are not the best, I mean, I don't have nothing against tank destroyers, but will rush to, you know, these humongous heavy tanks like the E-100, or some tank destroyers, and the games will be filled up full of them. Now, that's, I mean, that's not, I'm not saying nerf tank destroyers or anything like that. It's that the game keeps throwing them in together, and this one didn't have that problem, but it's in tier 10 most of the time, where you get games where there's nothing but tier 10s and like a few other tanks. Most of the tier 10s are going to be tank destroyers, from my own observation. I'm not saying I have anything against tank destroyers, like I said. It's just what's going on, what I've noticed, because, I mean, it's not bad players. Bad players gravitate towards certain tanks, and those certain tanks would be Mouse, E100, E3, and the, not really the Waffen Trager, but that, I'm going to throw that one on the list, and artillery, but artillery isn't that bad, because there's only 5 ever max on the team. Now, I'm not saying if you own any of those tanks you're bad, I'm just saying that you know those certain players who give those tanks a bad reputation. Like that guy who takes the E3 and just drives it straight through the middle of the open field and gets wrecked and then complains about his team not helping. That guy. That guy who's also in a, I don't know, a T-54, and he's telling you how to play your E5 survive better because he's played it, although he's only played the Russian heavies. That guy, well, that's what I'm trying to get here. It's like the Bat Chat and the 62A. Those tanks are the kind of tanks that I'm talking about doing the jobs better because they're fast, they shoot and scoot. T62A more than the Bat Chat, but the Bat Chat has that 390 alpha and the autoloader going for it. That's like the.
I don't believe that he went from.
Shoot and scoot, Bat Chat fits that criteria better, but the 62A can put a little bit more down because it has that turret armor. You know what I'm saying? Now, this game is the Riley Walters game, and this is on 360. You can already tell because we went from playing on a Alienware to a Toshiba Handybook because that's the graphics difference on the Xbox One and the Xbox 360. I'm joking though. I really don't care. I play on both of them. It actually, the grass aggravates me on the Xbox One. That's why I rarely play on it, but for recording purposes, I'll play on it because it makes the game look better. And a lot of you guys play on the One anyways, and a lot of you want to see the One. So, light tank down, and that's one of the light tanks that I don't know what the hell he thought he was doing. I've noticed also, this is a big tip. Now, if you're playing on the ridge on Prokhorovka, turn your turret towards the general area of what you're going to detect, like that. Now, I wasn't looking at him, but I detected him. If you're looking the other way, like the 2801 was, you won't detect them. Well, from my own experience, you won't detect them if you're looking the wrong way. See, he was still in the general front part of the turret, so I detected him. Sixth Sense also will not work if you're not looking in that general direction. If you're looking straight like I am now, and those guys detected me and shot me, it would not show up until I turned my turret right about now. It would say I got detected. I've tried to tell people that before, and they don't believe me, but I noticed it. I've seen it happen. I can't be the only one who knows about this. This game, I really do steal a lot of kills, but I do not. I'm gonna tell you a little secret. I don't give a shit because I'm M41 Bulldog. Oh my god, like everybody shot at this artillery. He did not have a very good game. He was sitting there, he was like, oh my god, what the hell do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And then I finish him off. I want to go get the T54 lightweight next to compare it to this tank. Or the LTTB, not the 54 lightweights. 54 lightweight's a whole tier higher. But, from the new, if you ever watch Jingle's videos, or been on Rita Gamer's status report blog and read some of the stuff about the meeting they had in Cyprus for Wargaming HQ, they were talking about how light tanks had no real play, like there were no reason to play them. That was because of corridor maps and how they couldn't really flank. Well, kind of just, you can, but there's no real reason to play them on PC because unless you're doing a mission. Because, like I said, any tier 10 medium tank will do a tier 8 or 7 light tank's job better than it can, just because it has better survivability than a light tank does. And they have armor and better guns. And I believe like maps like this one and
where did the ISA come
what's
from?
the other one? The big one that I was on, Sand River, those are not really corridor maps. It's just that players tend to go to the same areas, and El Haluf is a big one. So is Karelia and Cameron, because everybody goes to the left or right, whichever side you want to spawn on, the one with the trees and the buildings, or the center of the map. But Westfield, kind of the same thing, but you generally get more room. That's one of the bigger maps. And Insk, well, Insk is not good for light tanks anyways, because you're closed in all the time. Mainly what it was meaning was they need to make more maps with more options and not have, like, lanes on them. And mainly the players of the game make those lanes and not the maps themselves.
I'm looking. I just didn't.
You can go mid on Corellia and not die. Just depends on who's playing.
This is the game for.
If all the team wants to rush one side, they rush that one side. You happen to be there, you don't get out. Now this is my 7th kill right here, and I really wanted the Rally Walters. I didn't know he shot. I thought I was getting ready to die at any moment. I was like, here it comes, and I got him. But anyways, just let me know in the comments if you get what I'm saying, and I'm not just yabbing on for 20 minutes about this tank being overpowered in my mind, but you guys don't understand what I'm saying. What else? Oh, the next video is probably going to be the T-49 review, and the 1X tank review. The next video is probably going to be a 5-man tank destroyer tier 10 platoon that I ran with a few people, Sam, Stealth, and 2 of their friends. And we actually did not do as good as you planned, and there was a few reasons behind that. Don't ever trade with an angry Death Star, because I happened to do that on accident, and I paid for it because he hit me for almost 1900 and I got obliterated. Now, this is the game where tier 6 tanks are the main threat on the side of the map. Now this is one of the lane maps that I was talking about. Either everybody goes to the town, to the middle, or to the left. Most of the time it's the middle or the town. Barely anyone ever goes to the left. Now you know what I'm saying. From where I'm going now, I go to the left almost every time. I do not take this tank in the middle. I do not take any tank in the middle, because there's so much crap out there that if a lot of people realize that you can take a tank to the left and you can detect the people in the middle, and you can put side shots on them depending on how many people have already went left or pushing up that side. If you can get to the island out there, you can put side shots on them. You can still do the same from the back where I sit here in a minute. But I've had some pretty big games in the Patton and the Bat Chat from doing what I'm about to do now, because a lot of people don't realize that, hey, I'm getting shot in the side, let's ignore it and keep shooting at the people who are 10 feet in front of me instead of backing up and moving. A lot of, like I said, a lot of players create the lanes in this game, and tier 6 tanks, tier 7 tanks barely have anything on this tank. I mean, I know I'm shooting at a stock KV3 and Achilles and an E2 and Cromwell, but this just proves how competitive this tank is at the higher tiers, which I wish I'd have had some higher tier games. I just never had any. It's not that I didn't have any good ones and I died immediately. Just saying I just never had any today, and that's about every one of these games happened in the same day. And I decided, hey, I got Rally Walters, I had some other good games, let's go and make a review of this tank. I'm probably going to go get the FE4005, but I'm going to slow down because I kind of want to get the 49 first.
Oh, and Achilles decided to come back out.
And I've seen the FE4005 in a bunch of tier 10 games, and I'm just gonna say that I'm not all too psyched about it, because it's let's put it this way, it has a freaking refrigerator on the top with a huge barrel sticking out of it, and everybody can see it and everybody can hit it auto bin. So I don't really think it's that good, honestly. I mean, I'd shoot only AP out of it. Now when I'm talking about lanes, now this KV3 kind of knew he's doing a good thing, but it didn't work because these guys up here didn't push, and the fact that I was kind of in a Walker Bulldog. Got a lot to do with it.
I gotta get practice on my light tank. 71, I've tried to avoid light
Not to say it couldn't have worked. I mean, they could have rushed and got me, but I doubt that would ever happened. I'm not trying to deep throat my own horn, toot toot, but you know what I'm saying.
On the one
This tank just has too much pin, shoots too fast, and has more health than all those tanks right there. So, and the KV3 is stock too. See, that's what I'm saying. Right there, you can get a lot of shots on people. More or less to the left, but you know what I'm saying. Center of the map, you can light them up with this tank, and any tank that goes over here. Now you get right about there, shoot them all day. A lot of people don't realize it. And I just wish a lot more people tried to learn the maps and learn the tanks and try more than one thing every game, and we'd have a lot more variety in this game. Go where you're needed. Don't go where you think you need to go. Like, this T-34 did not need to sit back there. He could have used his gun to pressure on the hill, or he could have came to the right, or his right, my left, and he could have pushed, like, hard. No, he stays back there. I had a good game back here. Yeah, well, look what's happening now. See? Anyways, guys, this game's getting ready to end in about 30 seconds. I hope I didn't blab on for 20 minutes and you not learn anything or get what I'm saying. Hopefully you don't think I just steal kills and shoot premium rounds at tier 6 and 7 things. I don't. And take my word for it. I do have pretty good tier 10 games, but it's not like 3k damage, it's like 2500 or whatever I need to do. It's mostly assisted damage though. But anyways, guys, see ya.